But first, our next guest, introducing a bill today to overhaul the process that currently allows the Chinese government and private business to buy American farmland with impunity, with very little regulation. The Chinese government and private Chinese businesses currently own about 50 million acres of U.S. farmland. That's the equivalent of multiple U.S. states. This is really concerning stuff. Joining us now for more, Iowa Senator and member of the Armed Services Committee, Joni Ernst. Senator, great to have you on. Take us through what's going on here.
Yes, we have seen the foreign ownership and investment of American land nearly double over the last decade. And as you stated, it's anywhere between 37 million and 50 million acres. That is greater than the size of the state of Tennessee. So the U.S. has got to be more involved in who's purchasing our land. It is extremely concerning, especially when we saw the alarm bells go off when China purchased land surrounding an Air Force base in North Dakota. This is when I think a lot of other folks really woke up to the dangers of this. This is a national security risk, not only because they are purchasing land near sensitive areas, but it's also about our food. Food security is national security. So we need to make sure that we are monitoring who is in charge of our land and how it is purchased. So this bill would bring the USDA into that process, as well as the FDA, and we'll have a publicly available database of all of those foreign land purchases.
Right.
So we really have to radically overhaul the way we do business, and we've got to wake up and watch what China is doing.
Senator, if I'm reading this properly, U.S. private businesses are not allowed to buy land in mainland China. Is that accurate?
That is accurate, yes.
But they can do it here.
They can do it here. And this is where we see big differences between the way China deals with businesses and ag purchases in their own country. It is so different here in the United States. And that's why we need this major overhaul.
I know this might sound extreme, but why do we even allow them to have the land they currently have? Why can't we just buy the land back and say, get out of here?
Yeah, Rob, that is a great question. So what we can do right now, though, is control who purchases in the future, and then we may have to go back and revisit what has been done in the past.
Do you expect bipartisan support in the Senate?
I do, actually. I do expect very good bipartisan support. This is an issue where Democrats and Republicans can come together. It's pushing back on China, and that's exactly what needs to happen in this case.
Senator, take a listen to Antony Blinken. He was in Beijing, China, a day ago, meeting with the Chinese president. He made some comments after that meeting that are getting a whole lot of attention this morning. Take a listen.
On Taiwan, I reiterated the longstanding U.S. One China policy. That policy has not changed. It's guided by the Taiwan Relations Act, the 3 joint communiques, the 6 assurances. We do not support Taiwan independence. We remain opposed to any unilateral changes to the status quo by either side. We continue to expect the peaceful resolution of cross-strait differences.
So the comment there that's getting the attention, we do not support Taiwan independence. Is that a green light for China to invade Taiwan?
Well, I tell you, Antony Blinken really approached this meeting in a position of weakness. And we have seen this with the Biden administration over and over again through all of their foreign policy. Those statements are extremely weak. And we have seen what has happened with the withdrawal of Afghanistan. We have seen what has happened when we moved rapidly out of Ukraine and basically said a minor incursion by Russia would be no big deal. We're seeing the same thing right now with Taiwan. It's very unfortunate that we have such weak leadership coming out of this administration.
Yeah, and to your point, that minor incursion into Ukraine has now lasted for more than a year and a half, and hundreds of thousands of people have died needlessly in Ukraine and Russia. Senator, your event a couple of weeks ago, the Roast and Ride, this event looks like so much fun, by the way. I give Mike Pence, by the way, a lot of credit. He rode on a motorcycle.
Yes,
he was the only candidate to do that. He looked good riding a motorcycle. I'm wondering if you're going to get into the endorsement game between now and the primaries. I know you haven't endorsed a candidate yet. Is that something that you expect to do? Because your endorsement, particularly in Iowa, one of the only states in the country that caucuses, it could make a big difference.
Well, it could. And that's why, though, we remain neutral. Chuck Grassley, our senior senator, our Governor Kim Reynolds, and I all remain neutral through the Iowa caucus process because we are the first in the nation caucus state. And it is incredibly important that the GOP maintain this relationship with our candidates and welcome every single one in. And kudos to Mike Pence. He was the only one that rode a motorcycle with me that day for the roast and ride. We had a great time. But what phenomenal candidates we had coming into Iowa on that day for the roast and ride.
And next up is the Iowa State Fair, which I covered when I lived in Kansas City, and I know that's always a huge event for all the candidates as well. Hope to have you back, Senator Joni Ernst. Good to see you. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
All right.